Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Uncensored Critic podcast. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. It means the world. Thank you very much. And welcome back to another Fringe in 15. This is a show dedicated to you Fringe artists out there, wherever you are in the UK and beyond, where we can promote your show and get people to come and see it and recognize your hard work. To get in touch and book your slot in within the month, please let me know via Instagram or send me an email, whichever one you prefer to do. So let's get your show out there and promote it. And today we promote another one. Here we have Lizzie with us today, Lizzie Bean, and she's promoting her show, quote, Phuckets and Rainbows. And the title just alone intrigues me so much. So before we get into that, hello, Lizzie.
Hello.
How are you?
This is exciting. I'm all right, thank you.
No, thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Likewise, thank you for your time today.
No, it's been my pleasure, man. Thank you. So we're here to talk about the PR title was what do you do when you go on BBC Radio and stuff? Is it what's the official title on the BBC?
Ah, so if I go onto the BBC, which doesn't happen very often, I call it Phuckets and Rainbows. But the last time I was on the radio, they did say to me, Lizzie, you're not going to say the name of your show out loud, are you? So I just didn't say anything.
Yeah, just to be clear, it's Phuckets. Fuck, it's brilliant. Yeah,
Yes,
love the
Phuckets.
play on words, and we'll talk about the everything that it means in just a second. So, this is Lizzie, your 15 minutes elevator style pitch. Let's promote your show, and also I'll just say as well, it's on at the Ivy Studio at Greenside on George Street as part of the Edinburgh Fringe from the 7th to the 15th of August this year. Link below for tickets. Go and check it out and explore it and book your tickets now if you're going to the festival. So here we go. So we have 15 minutes, Lizzie. Let's go. This is your promotion campaign. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, Lizzie, tell me about your show.
Okay, my show is called Phuckets and Rainbows. It's written, produced, directed, performed by me, Lizzie Bean, just an ordinary woman on a mission to live an extraordinary life, right? And it's really a massive invitation from my very lovely heart to anyone and everyone that comes into the theatre to share it with me, to show them how remarkable they are,
Mhm.
even in what they think isn't very remarkable. And it follows the story of my life, into not much of my life, otherwise it'd be a really fucking long show, a very short moment of my life where we talk about the fact I'm on the edge of a nervous breakdown and I'm trying to find out how the hell am I not going to fall over the edge again. And basically it's a narrative looking back upon how I've survived before, how I've risen again before, the lessons I've learned, the things I've done, in order to find my way to a space which actually is a place where I actually really like who I am, even though I'm a bit shit. And I really hope that the audience that comes will see that they're likable too. And my dream, as with all of my work, is that people just leave with this idea that they're more possible than the world has ever told them.
Mm. And that's a brilliant message to send out. And it's something we need, I think, more than anything, well, particularly in this time now, with social media creeping in and giving these limited beliefs and everything. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. So we were talking before we came on, and obviously I haven't seen the show as of yet, but from what I've read about it and what I've seen via the website is that it again, just like a cold read of it from my perspective, it encourages people to be unapologetically themselves. That's the vibe I get, is that you want people to embrace who they are and what they do and say to the world, this is what I do and I'm proud of it. Would I be on the right lines of saying that?
I think you've hit the nail on the head, and I'm very impressed that that's the message that you've got, because that's the message that I need to get out there.
Nice.
It's this idea that, like, we spend our entire formative years being criticized and judged and sort of sat upon to conform into little spaces. And
Hmm.
then as we grow into adulthood, we carry on criticizing ourselves, whether that's what we look like or where we are in our career trajectory or how big our waist is or how fat our wallet. And we're still criticizing and judging. And I'm just wondering, God, fuck's sake, if we flipped it over and just said, actually, I'm going to love myself because I am absolutely imperfect, and so is every other fucker on the planet,
Very true.
maybe then we'd grow into the dreams that we think will never be possible because we're too not enough. And these dreams don't have to be like massive ones. Like obviously going to the Edinburgh Fringe is a ridiculous thing for any, well, I think it's amazing, but also it's ridiculous. I'm not saying you have to go to the Edinburgh Fringe to prove your worth in whatever shape or space you are, but more get your colour out into the world. Like stop waiting for somebody to say you're good enough to do that and just think, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna go and do that because nobody's gonna give you permission apart from you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think,
Yeah.
you know, this is one of the questions for this series, in which you've probably answered already just now, is that how does it speak to the here and now more than ever?
Well, yeah, I think so. I also work in a mental health capacity too. So I
Right.
work with lots of people who come to me with various things going on in their life. And a lot of what I see is people who just don't think they're good enough. And I think the research, and obviously there's thousands of bits of research in the world, but it's
Yeah.
something like 80% of young people, so that's 18 to 25, have got a negative narrative about who they are in their head.
Hmm.
And it blows my mind and it makes me feel so sad that these people, we're so squished worrying that we're not lovely enough or whatever, that we don't even notice how remarkable life is. Like how lovely the sunshine feels in the morning, or how great it is to jump in puddles or to eat a piece of chocolate, or I don't know, that first breath of the sea air if you don't live by the sea, because we're too worried about being good enough in the eyes of others. And I especially with AI, like AI is amazing. Like it has some things. There's no a whole other chapter we could talk about that, but we're even looking at like AI images now on our screens and thinking, oh, that's the sort of person I want to be. So we're comparing ourselves to things that aren't even fucking real. And I'm like, oh my God. So in all of the inauthenticity of life and what we need to be and what we show up as, we're losing the essence of who we are and the beautiful color that we bring to the world,
Hmm.
which for so many is immeasurable but so silent because we're so afraid to be judged and to be shrunk.
Yeah, I think you've really hit the nail on the head. I think particularly the times that we live in. You know, I mentioned social media just now, is that, and you go on there and you see an image which is just simply, it's not real. It's not real. Yet people
It's
think
just not real.
we have to be that, we have to be that way in order to be acceptable. And you know, it's a journey. I think particularly, I don't want to speak for all of my generation, but I
No.
know that you know, I imagine, because I've spoken on some podcasts before about, I was the last generation before social media kicked in. So my summer holidays when I was at school, we used to get on our bikes and go to the local shopping centre and just hang out. But there no phones, no phones in pockets. Maybe we did have phones, but they stayed in our pockets. There was no Facebook, no Instagram. We don't no sitting down at the table and just checking our phone for 20 minutes and then go up and leaving. You know, I think, and I feel very lucky to be that last generation. That was my childhood. I understand what it's like. Whereas people now are growing up with social media, and sadly, their heads are being filled with this narrative, which is not true. I mean, was
Mm.
that big part of it? Social media, AI, that sort of thing. Was that also part of your writing process when you were creating this as well?
I think not for me personally. I find social media hilarious in that it's all bollocks. And what I try to do is tune in to the people who I identify or relatable with. So the people
Yeah.
I try to find the real people amongst the not so real. But I think for the last 10 years, yeah, probably what you're saying is that I feel like the world has become very disconnected and we're very disconnected from humaning. Like we've
Hmm.
lost what it is to be human, which is to be messy and magical and flawed and fabulous and like be allowed to be that. And the creative arts are getting so shrunk in education. Like there's no where's all the spaces we're allowed to color outside of the lines? Like
Hmm.
it's not we're not even allowed those things anymore. And I know there'll be people saying, oh, there is, and there is, and I know there is. Like I know there are people out there. There's so
Of
many
course.
people out there who are still trying, but there's so many spaces where it's not possible. And I think people are just losing sight of the fact that they've got to be something.
Yeah.
Whereas my argument is the very fact that you're here is it's something.
Mm.
Like, don't waste those precious fucks on shit that nobody else cares about.
Indeed. Indeed. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's absolutely right. And I feel like I can tell, like you mentioned earlier, like the experience you've had. You've worked with within mental health charities and stuff like that. And yeah, I imagine you've seen so many things, so many people in all different incarnations, and the fact that you want to spread a word of positivity through, sadly, a world which a lot of people sort of conform to believe is negative all the time, but it's not. It's not that way at all. You have to see it for what it is, and there's
Yes.
so much more to be thankful out there than people realize. And people always say they write from personal experience and everything. But so was that the work that you've done with the other young people, with the mental health charities and institutions that you've worked with? Was that a big part of writing this as well?
I think, yeah. So one of the drivers for this is that therapy or coaching is really expensive, right? So like
Hmm.
you want to go and see, I mean, I know there's places it's more accessible, but generally it's expensive and you've got to be really brave. That's not a criticism of people, but you've got to
No,
find
no,
the
no.
courage to knock on someone's door and say, "Can you help me? I'm lost." And one of the reasons, one of the big driving things for my show is, God, fuck me, if I could give that message, if I could give the message that I give to clients or in bigger spaces where I speak to people, the message for 10, 12, 15 quid, or however much a ticket costs,
Hmm.
and people can go home with that tiny little bit of magic in, like a tiny chip instilled in them, then I'm going to do it because I think that the world would be a more lovely place if we loved ourselves more,
Hmm.
because it would stop people being judgmental and hating on people and criticizing people, because we wouldn't be comparing ourselves all the time.
Hmm.
We'd be like looking at other people and going, "Oh, look, they're fucking lovely, and I'm fucking lovely," as opposed to, "Oh, they're fucking lovely, I hate them." Do you know what I mean? And like I watch it in schools, the angry between little sort of people all falling out with each other because one's got more and one's taller or thinner or fatter or I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, just realize your own fucking possibility.
Mm.
Realize that, because then you don't need to stand on other people to get anywhere.
Indeed. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
you yourself is enough, which is a message that I know it's easier said than taught most of the time,
Yes. Yeah.
but we need it's like practicing a sport. The more you do it, the better you get at it, more than anything else. And well, one quote I think from reading about it on your website, which was, I love this quote about the show where you say it bends reality, breaks the rules, and asks the big questions in the small moments. That's really lovely.
Oh,
What did you mean by that exactly?
I think we're so looking for the big answers that we forget that it's the little stuff that brings the most light to our lives.
Hmm.
So it pushes back against um, ideal human beings, and it asks questions like, who the actual fuck decided
Yeah.
that that is what we should be, and why the fuck are we listening? Like,
Why are we listening to these assholes? I don't know.
that's like, but it blows my mind. Like for years, I was like constantly trying to make myself smaller, every diet under the sun, because somebody somewhere has said that being smaller is better.
Mm,
But I never challenged that rhetoric, not ever,
mm,
because it's so everybody believes it. I mean, that's not true. Not everyone does, but there's so many people who say, yes, that's right.
yeah. Yeah.
So then, unless we find a voice to ask the questions about the things that everyone thinks and open some doorways into there being another bloody possible way, we're all still stuck in the same furrowed field.
Mm,
And we need to find a way to get out. And that's challenging the narratives and
yeah.
saying, actually, no.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like an absolutely brilliant premise for a show, and I imagine people are going to leave uplifted, and I imagine you'll present things which will challenge your audience, and then also show them how they can overcome that. Would that be correct?
Yeah, like or how it challenged me. And I know that a lot of what I share is very relatable to everybody that's been to see the show.
Hmm.
And then I think even just saying some of the stuff out loud, people are like, oh my God, I'm not the only one. Like, I'm not the only one. And I think that's a powerful thing. Like, because the one thing we all know Like we all have different lives and different truths and different trajectories and different experience, but we all know what it feels like to feel.
Mm,
And yet so much of that is getting lost in the being,
yeah, I think that's
be
brilliant.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's brilliant. And I think you've kind of answered my final question, really, which is how does it speak to the here and now? And of course, I think you've just answered that just now. You want people to know that they're not alone in things that they're going through. And whatever
Yeah.
it is, you are not alone.
Yes. And that maybe you're more possible than you imagine.
Mm, yeah. And it sounds brilliant. And I love the title again, by the way. Fuckets and Rainbows. That's a brilliant title.
It is a brilliant title, but also I love Hyacinth Bouquet, you're probably too young to know all that, but it was she was always called Hyacinth Bouquet, but it was really Bucket. And I was like, oh, what a legend. So that's where Fuckets and Rainbows came from. And also it is symptomatic of my life, right? Like one minute it's all going horribly wrong and I'm thinking, fuck, and then it's all right again. And I'm like, ah. So like, and that is life, right? Like the rise and fall, the hope and the fear. And I think my show is definitely about inviting people to say fuck it more often so that the fear doesn't linger.
Yeah.
And we can ride the colours far more frequently.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds brilliant. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's going to look forward to seeing it. And yeah, and just to reiterate, guys, it's on at the Ivy Studio at Greenside and on George Street in Edinburgh as part of the famous Edinburgh Fringe as well. Lizzie, thank you so much for your time today. And it's been an absolute joy to hear about your show. And it sounds like you're going to leave a lot of people with a lot of very positive messages, and that's what we need more than ever now. And we thank you for it. And I suppose the last thing to say is before we finish is good luck with it. Good luck with the show, and I really do hope you get a lot of good reaction, and which I'm sure you will anyway. And lots of people, lots of bums on seats, more than anything else.
Bums on seats, that's the thing. Oh, thank you so much. I'm excited for the whole thing. And you know what? If it doesn't go well, fuck it. There'll be another there'll be another show in a
Yeah.
year's time called Fuck It and the Edinburgh Fringe.
We look forward to the joyous sequel on that, but for positive reasons. But all in good time. Lizzie, thank you so much for your time. It's been great to meet you, and once again, good luck with the show. I'm sure it's going to be a hit. And yeah, keep me in the loop of how it goes. Love to hear about the
Oh,
reactions
brilliant.
and everything. That'd be
Oh,
great.
lush.
And fantastic, guys. Thank you for watching. This has been Fringe in 15. If you want to get involved, drop me a message on Instagram, drop me an email, tell me about your show, and we can get you booked on. But yeah. Leslie, thank you so much. Good luck.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much. Cheers. Bye.